So even if we have that pass as approved by ASHP and corporate that we can do 180 hours and not 240, we still tell the students, do your 240. It's just going to benefit you more than hurt you. Okay? So you have to go to 2 sites, 2 experiences. So it can be hospital and retail, hospital and compounding, hospital and a specialty. We just don't let our students go to a call center. Why call center? You don't have a lot of experience with hands-on, but you can be employed by call centers, okay? Insurance, billing, etc. And they pay a lot too. Call centers start pay at about $18 an hour. Sometimes they pay at 24, okay? For pharmacy technicians, the highest paying setting is hospital, okay? And then compounding is mid-range and then retail. But for pharmacists, it's flipped. Retail pays more because of the stress dealing with patients for pharmacists, okay? The stress, getting yelled at, or all of these things. But in a hospital, you don't have much interaction with patients. So they get paid less because of that environment. Okay, you get it?
Yeah.
It's reversed. Okay. Don't think that being a pharmacy technician is only Walgreens pharmacy. That's community pharmacy. Not a lot of people know that pharmacy technicians work behind the scenes like hospital, or they can work in doctor's office, or they can work in industrial pharmacies or manufacturing like J&J, Sanofi, those who make drugs and IV bags. They can work in compounding pharmacy, which we have a lot of here in town. They can work in consulting pharmacy, ambulatory care, or home care, nursing homes, assisted livings, okay? These are specialties. I had students, it's so crazy how our students fresh from graduating from the pharmacy technician program get hired by radioactive pharmacies, nuclear pharmacy. And that's a specialty. You have to study 2 more years for that. But I had 5 students who was hired as pharmacy tech 2, not 1, level 2, in a nuclear pharmacy here in town, okay? The schedule is crazy. Their shift starts at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., okay? So they make it a stepping stone before they move to a hospital. It's crazy though, because a nuclear pharmacy really requires 2 years of studying. But because these students, 1, passed the board exam, so they have the title CPhT, 2, they have IV certification because we're the only school in the entire state that gives you IV certification. You have to pass it, of course, before you go to your externship. And 3, just because PIMA has a good credibility, our program has a good credibility, they are hiring our students without even doing a 2-year nuclear pharmacy program. They train our students knowing that they're certified, even if the state doesn't require it, and knowing that they're IV certified, even if the state doesn't require it, is enough for them to know that they're trainable, okay? So yeah, I have 5 who work in a nuclear setting. I have 5 who work in prison or in jail. No, I had 2 who worked in the detention center, not okay. And they said it's one of the safest places to work in because they're escorted by cops to go in and out, okay? And then all you see is the nurses. You stick your hand out and give the prescription to the nurses. So it's the safest place to be in versus a retail wherein you can get robbed, held on gunpoint, etc. So it's crazy, right? But those are cool experiences. So it's amazing when students like, oh my gosh, I really would like to go through this orientation. No, it's not required. I require it for my students because it's an eye-opener for students. The only pharmacy technicians you see are Walgreens pharmacy techs, you know, CVS. You don't know that these specialties can apply to you, that you can work in these settings.
Yeah, I didn't even know these ones existed.
Right. And I always educate our admissions team. I'm always invited by the admissions team to talk about the pharmacy program. Even corporate invites me to talk about the pharmacy technician program so the other campuses can learn about this program. You know, the program it's funny because when nursing students are recruited, they recruit like the military. Not a lot of people know how cool being a pharmacy technician is. Yeah, and I always say, it's one of the most glamorous medical professions. Why? We don't touch bodily fluids such as pee, poo, and blood. No, we don't. Okay? All we punch or inject or stick needle into are IV bags. Okay? Though there are talks right now for our state, that's one of the CEs that I'd like all of us to attend. The state is going to make a decision whether we're going to let pharmacy technicians administer immunizations, okay? Flu shots and immunization. But of course, that's another set of training, okay? But remember, we're an advanced program, and we're the only advanced program in town for this pharmacy technician program.
Right.
Okay, our curriculum. Each time I have on Blackboard, upload a class. There's the syllabus, there's the course content, there's the PPS so that you can see how the grades is broken down, what's the content for each class. But to give you an overview of what you're gonna have to go through during this entire program, so 6 times 4 is 24 weeks. You're gonna be with me 24 weeks didactic. Okay, of course, that's not counting your lab hours with the new normal, plus the externship, which is 240 hours. But talking about online class right now, hopefully we can get back soon in the classroom so I can meet you guys and be as normal as possible. I don't know how soon that will happen, but I really, really miss the classroom. That's why I had so much gadgets. I accumulated so much gadgets in this amount of time. I had to buy like a ring light and now like a pad for math so that I can, so that I can simulate math better and the students like it. Because at the beginning I was like, how do we do this on a Word file? And so I started adjusting and yeah, it works out. So there are 15 pharmacy technician classes. So you're in sequence 1, you notice that week 1 to 3 is 2 classes, then week 4 to 6 is 2 classes. Sequence 2 will be only 3 classes because the week 1 to 3 is pharmacy technician duties. It's a heavy program. You're gonna learn a lot about being a pharmacy technician. So there's only 1 class in there. That's why instead of a 16 classes total, you have 15. And then you move on to your externship, but with the new normal, you have to be simultaneously doing labs or skills in the camp, okay? If we're in the campus prior to this new normal, I'd lecture for an hour and then 2 hours of labs in pharmacology and lecture for another hour in math, okay? So that's how it works. But right now, we can't do that. Okay, you got your textbooks?
Yes.
Okay. Dress code. So right now we're not in uniform, but I still would like students to be in proper attire. I mean, I always have a problem with this with women, but also with men. Okay, sometimes they get up, they're in shorts. Okay, I always tell the men, excuse my language, I hate to see butt cracks, okay? So this doesn't only happen with women, it happens with men too, okay? Just be professional. And then the background, I don't like to see really that students are on their beds still, okay? That's why I always say, set up a study area so that you can flip your head, flip your brain, switch your brain to study mode on. Because I do that. Would you like me to run my class in jammies? Of course not, right? Okay, I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't. Would you like me to be on the bed when I run my class? No, of course not. Okay, I'd like to do that because I like to sleep more, but I won't do that. Okay, so just proper dress code. Okay, but the students have voted. Okay, because we have to have 1 day in scrubs. So that 1, you know that your scrubs fit you. 2, and I know that you know what complete uniform means once you start going to the campus. Okay, and they don't email me saying, hey, your student is here, and they're not in proper uniform. Okay, so you did your orientation, right? Okay.